Hey everybody, I'm Rush Grayson, and this is Beating the Elite. Today, this episode is about Max Holloway. As you can see, I got his perks pulled up. It's kind of average. There's nothing really going for him other than strike speed and his perks. But his stats are definitely pretty amazing, especially in the striking category. You'll see that he specializes in strike speed and accuracy. Well, his power is about average, but when you're punching as fast as Max Holloway, you don't really worry that much. However, when you get to his grappling stats, you'll start seeing the below averages, the 88s and 86s, stuff like that. I usually think that an average stat for one of these characters is about 90. When you get to his moves, you'll see that, the jab, the straight, and the hook are there. Those are always going to be his main weapons, is always going to be something that's majorly utilized as a Max Holloway player. You also see, surprisingly, that the lead body hook is also above average, and that's something that, Max Holloway players should be utilizing, but, you don't really see that unless you get to the better ones. Other than that, he doesn't really have anything special in his punches. He has, the spinning back fist and the spinning elbow, which are just really annoying. And when you get a lot of new players, you'll see them spamming them all the time because they like doing that. It's a quick way to get a stagger. As far as the kicks, nothing special as well until you get the spinning heel kick, which is very underutilized. You rarely ever see that. The only other thing would be the flying knee that you see people spamming all the time as well. When you, when you get to the clinch, nothing special. He's got the tie clinch. He's got a single collar. He's not a clinch guy. It's pretty obvious to see from here. And then when you get to his takedowns, nothing special here at all. He's knows a single leg, knows a double leg. That's whatever. Now the real only good advantages you see with Max, of course, we go back to his clinch. There's really nothing there. But you get to his ground moves, his get-ups and his reversals are actually pretty well versed. He's got some level 3 BJJ get-ups and some level 3 BJJ reversals, or level 2 rather, not level 3. But those allow him to get up from a lot of positions that, you wouldn't really expect a non-grappler to be able to reverse. But you'll see that a lot of those positions come from the half guard and they come from side control. So if you're fighting against Max Holloway and you're fighting somebody who's pretty well versed on the ground, you want to avoid those two positions however possible. That means if you usually work from the half guard, you want to work from either inside the full guard or you want to go to full mount. And if you like working from side control, you want to try and get to that crucifix or that side saddle position really quickly. Other than that, nothing really special. There's some of them that he's got from the full mount, and not much else going there. When you get to his submissions, you're not going to see anything special in submissions. You don't expect a Max Holloway to go for a submission. But you'll see later on in the video that, I go up against one who starts going for him all the time just because he feels like it, or he was in position and he just felt like doing it. But you'll see he's only got the armbar, and he's got the guillotine, and he's got a rear naked choke, and that's about it. Nothing special. And for combos, Max is labeled as a kickboxer, so not surprisingly, his kickboxing combos are level 4. Boxing combos level 3. You mostly see people just utilizing Max's boxing all the time. Like I said, you don't really see a lot of kicks unless you're talking about people throwing the odd roundhouse kick or the jumping knee that happens all the time. However, if I was playing as Max Holloway, the most devastating combos I think would be combo 21 and combo 38. Which are the jab, spinning heel kick, and lead hook, spinning heel kick combos. I say that because if you set those up correctly, they're almost never seen coming, and that heel kick comes out fast enough to where it can catch people off guard. You can get a quick drop that way, pretty easy, especially with the strike speed and the power that Max has. they're gonna go down pretty quick. Now when I'm going up against Max, I like to switch into what I call the mirrored stance, which is basically if he's in orthodox, then I'm going to be in southpaw. So the switch right here. I also like to utilize lateral movement so I can fire out quick body strikes like that. Lead body uppercut. You'll see it when I'm lunging in, it comes out quick. When I'm moving laterally, it comes out faster. It's a quick way to start pelting punches to that body. The body is definitely Max's weak point, and something that you want to prioritize as what your primary target is. And a quick way you can set it up is just throw out that jab to the face. When you're in mirrored stance, it's going to come out as a short jab, so it'll come out just a little bit quicker when you're standing at the correct distance. Also, you can utilize that lead body hook straight into a roundhouse kick. That's a quick way to get a nice wobble really quick. As you see, that comes out extremely fast compared to just trying to set up a regular roundhouse kick. Plus, if you're throwing constantly to the body, you're automatically going to be setting it up because they're going to start being mindful of how much damage they're taking. So I just want to utilize those body kicks as well, and it's really easy. There's so many combos where you can set it up kicks with a punch, especially when you're in a mirrored position, so that way that head angle is wide open. You get great angles on any kind of rear leg kicks, which is where all your power comes from, coming from your coming to the body, and especially coming to the legs. You get in close, you have these short punches, so you don't want to utilize a jab, you actually want to utilize a lead hook. And if you want to get fancy and put some head movement on it too, since you know that Max's combos are, 99% of the time we're going to start with a jab. So you get in and you can quickly dodge to the side, slip that punch, and you get some more strike vulnerability because of the slip, and then you can start throwing out that hook. Boom. Those are some of my most used combos against Max Holloway. You just want to prioritize that body. The other main target that you want for a Max Holloway is just you want to be repeatedly chopping at that lead leg, whether it's from the rear or it's from the back. I like to use the rear inside leg kick that comes from setting up in that southpaw position too. You have that mirrored stance, and it's really easy to throw out, especially when you're setting it up with a punch. It's just like in the previous clip, you saw a lot of setting up kicks with punches. It's really easy to set up that leg kick, and then you hit a couple of them, especially if you hit him while he's on the move, then you're going to cause some big damage to that knee joint. Also, when you feel like you're really slick, if you're in that mirrored stance, that single leg's right there. It's really easy to get that. Now, was what we were going over in the beginning of the video, where Max has a lot of counters and a lot of reversals, a lot of get-ups from the half guard position. You want to go ahead and switch over to the half, or the top mount, and then you can quickly move into side control, quickly move into side saddle, and you can start going down. You want to. This is probably the only kind of scenario where I would attack Max's chin directly, is if you were on the ground, just because of the strike vulnerability you gain from having grapple advantage. A good way to work the body would be to throw these grounded knees while you're in side control. He's going to be way too busy scrambling trying to get out, because he actually can't defend from this position like he can when he's in side saddle or in top mount. So Mainly what I do when I'm in top mount is instead of just wailing on him and throwing a bunch of punches to his guard, unless he's really, really low or his stamina or his head's almost gone, is I like to wait until he's trying to transition and throw out a quick punch just to the side that he's trying to transition to. It's a quick way to get in a cancel, and you do some damage as well, so that's nice. And then, if you're not getting through at all, or you can't time that counter punch correctly, you can always go for a submission, especially if you go for an inverted triangle, because even if you mess it up, even if you fail it, you're just going to wind back up in top mount. So here is the featured fight. It's a title fight, 5 rounds, going up against Max Holloway, played by Awesome Bob 3190. I really enjoyed this fight. This definitely allowed me to showcase what a good Max Holloway player will do, and allowed me to implement my strategies against this a good Max Holloway player. So as you can see him start already trying to set up those punches to the body. Should check a little more of those leg kicks. Probably shouldn't have thrown so many leg kicks in the beginning when he was looking to check them. I already managed to get him up in the clinch. Really nice knee to the body, and got that takedown from the clinch. Now, I guess it's because I was nervous, recording the first fight on YouTube and all that stuff. I actually let him get away with a really easy transition. I should have definitely been able to cancel or block, and then that leads him to go right into submission, which ironically, I said in the beginning of the video that you rarely see Max Holloway's going for submissions because he doesn't have a lot of skill set there. And it was pretty easy to fight out of it. You get a lot going there. And then I start getting the grappling going. And then, once you get to the back, people don't really know what to do from the back because the only thing they can do is let you have top mount and then let you have back mount again. And then people really freak out when you start flattening them out, which is one of my favorite things to do in grappling. There you go. I get that transition cancel. Tried to get another one, it didn't work. There he goes. Gets that transition again. See, it's the way you want to stay out of half guard against Holloway, I guess. Then you start making stupid mistakes like I do. Fight off the choke again, because his submission offense is not great. And he decides to bail on it. And so, now I'm going to try and get my striking going. Try and start collect blows to the legs, collect some body blows. You already saw that first flying knee. It's going to be the main reason that we keep our stamina advantage, is throwing those flying knees. So here, I got a little overzealous with the leg kicks, and there you go. Got 2 good checks, and once he started checking them, I should have moved away from the leg kicks. And for some reason, I guess still because I switched stances and put my hurt leg forward, I should have identified that I was using rear leg kicks, so I would have been fine just staying in that stance where I was doing well with the striking. He wasn't, when you switch to a mirror stance like that, and you start getting the side-on-side advantage, it's really hard for players to find their angles for their power attacks because they have to cover so much more distance to get to you. Whereas for you, you're already putting your power side in your lead, so you're throwing out better strikes that way. There we go again. Still didn't learn my lesson. Just throwing the butt is a good way to stop him from doing anything crazy with the last couple seconds of the round. And had that knockdown not happened, we would have won this round too. But instead, we're down 0-2. always make sure your strike selection is up there. Because if I blocked or thrown that rear leg kick, then he would have been knocked to the ground instead of me being knocked down. So I'm starting to throw upstairs and more just to get my counters on, because he's not throwing as many combos out there because he knows I'm starting to tag him. However, he's gonna start opening up soon, just because I start getting overly aggressive. Right there, and he just get me with that roundhouse kick again. Thankfully, this time it's not off the counter, and I stay upright. I try to get my own roundhouse counter in there, and it's not working. Throw a knee to close distance. Thing about throwing knees is if you throw a lunging knee, it's a good way to close distance, and if you connect with it, then you do some good damage to the body. However, you open up that strike vulnerability a lot. So if they start throwing out the counter and hit you with that overhand, that hook like that, and you find yourself in bobble time. And that's Max Holloway, so it was really quick. So you really need to be selective when you're throwing knees. And in fact, in most cases, it's actually better to throw body punches instead, like that uppercut. That's been our main tool for this fight. He's starting to open up with some more leg kicks, even though he's kicking to the leg. That's not hurt because I've been smart and I've been keeping that in the back. Utilizing it as a weapon, just kind of picking my spots to throw it out there and tag that lead leg of his. You can tell we're definitely starting to work on that body. he's starting to throw knees just to keep us away. Keeps throwing out that flying knee every once in a while, but he's not going to catch us with that. He shouldn't catch any of you with that either. Starting to throw combos off the straight now because we've been good about anticipating when he's throwing the jab. Starting to throw that overhand out there to combo start him because it wears down the block so much. Since we don't utilize a lot of head movement, even though we should be, that's how he's able to get through our blocks, by throwing that overhand out there. Thankfully, we're pretty good off the counter in this fight, so it's pretty hard for him to get anything going, even though he's throwing that overhand. And stop the takedown to end it. So at this rate, just because of those two wobbles that he got, because I was getting overzealous with the knees trying to close the distance, probably lost that round 2, so we're probably down to 3 at this point. But, there's still hope for us. We can get a finish. So, here we go. Round 4. Here's a round where we really need to turn it on as far as working the body, working the legs. Really need to start hurting him. Because I don't know at this point, because I'm never record these fights live, because I would never talk at all. By the time I'd be focusing on fighting. I'm not even thinking about the scorecards at this point. But I don't even think about how I could possibly be down at this point. I'm just, trying to work, trying to get that finish if I can. So definitely trying to turn up the pressure. Every once in a while getting punished for it. But anytime he tries to turn the pressure up, I'm right there off the counter. I'm right there to stifle any kind of momentum he tries to get going. And that's really the main key to dealing with a late fight max, is they're going to, more often than not, they're going to have the stamina advantage. He doesn't in this case because he keeps throwing those flying knees. And we've been really good about our stamina management. And he's going to really try and put it on. He's really going to try and throw these combos out there to hurt you, like he's trying to do with me. But if you've maintained good defense, you've maintained your pacing and your stamina well, you should still be able to hang with him. Especially if you're starting to hurt with him with places that he's not blocking consistently, i.e. those legs and the body. So that's why you shouldn't primarily be throwing to his chin, because if you are, then he's going to have an advantage on you at this point. Now we started beating up that leg. He's going to switch to southpaw just to keep us away from it at some point. I think we have to hit it one more time. Yep. There we go. So we tagged it a couple more times, and he's starting to realize that we're going to put him in a leg event if he didn't do something about it. Starts through that knee, we catch it, put him down. Should have punched him. And move him back catch him off the clinch, knock him down. This is where our game plan is starting to work out. We get to that side control with that transition. He throws us to the half. We get to side saddle, but the round ends before we can do anything. However, we definitely won that round just because of the knockdown by itself. However, had we have Had we gotten to the ground earlier with maybe 30 seconds to a minute left to spare, we could have finished that fight. So, down 3, or we're down 2 rounds at this point, but, there's always hope for the finish. So, he doesn't think to switch stances back into southpaw, even though we did a lot of damage to that leg in that 4th round. Starting to check again. However, if you'll notice, our leg health on our rear leg hasn't gone down any more than it did in the 1st round. Just because we've been more selective with our leg kicks. Haven't been letting him catch us. He's starting to throw that overhand more. The overhand's going to start really draining his stamina. He's going to start trying to pressure with kicks. We're trying to throw more knees to the body. It's not working out that well for us. Start throwing to that knee. Knee breaks. You don't have to just utilize the clinch to get those power strikes in there. You can always do a lot of damage to the legs just by being in the clinch. Boom. There we go. There's one. No chance of the takedown. He's trying to save himself at that point. But he does catch our kick and rocks us. We should have gone to the leg. Now he's just throwing hooks just to try and keep us from attacking him. There's a couple times he would have dropped us. We had to get our head movement going there. There's more to the body. And again, he's looking out. There's a couple times we could have ended this fight had he not been that defensively sound, but was literally fighting the tightrope here. Whenever we can't utilize that to the knee, we're starting to utilize the elbows to the head. We're getting to the point where we're up against the cage, and we're just trying to wear down that head at this point. But, since we've been working mostly to the body, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be throwing knees. And since he's working on that the clinch work against us, we know we're running out of time. So we break off, try and get another good re-entry. Get it. Throw one more to the knee. That's the knockdown. However, instead of jumping on him and throwing punches, we should have let him get back up. And try it one more time. We don't get it, and that's going to end the fight. And that'll do it for our very first episode of Beating the Elite, starring Amazing Bob 3190 as Max Holloway. I hope for those of you at home, even though I didn't get the win, I showed you some strategies and some tips and tricks to fight the Max Holloways in your experience on the ladder, so that you can come away with more victories against the better players out there. Feel free to please stay tuned for the next episode coming out, and make sure you drop that big fat like and subscribe so you can always see new videos whenever I post them. Thank you. You all have a great night.